Good evening, I'm Kyle Clark.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. A small community in northern Colorado is devastated by a deadly shooting. Court documents show Jennifer Jones was hit by a bullet that was seemingly fired into her home at random.
Her family and friends tell us she was a single mother battling cancer for the fourth time. 9 News reporter Amanda Gilbert has learned more about her.
Selfless, resilient. That's how family describes Jennifer James. She was a single mom who raised her kids and battled breast cancer 4 times. She was undergoing chemo when a bullet struck a window in her birthed home, then hit and killed her.
She was a mother of 4 and she was battling cancer at the time. That was the first thing her friend told me when she called me.
Jonah Beacons lived in town since 2007.
18 years.
He's the owner of B-Rad's Arcade and Family Center, and he says this is unheard of here.
Hit it real close to home. You know, this is 4 doors down. This is, you know, less than a quarter mile away from my business where kids play every day. Other business owners in the area, they'd actually sent out some late night text messages saying that there was some random gunfire and to lock down if you were still in your business.
He didn't know exactly what happened until deputies asked for surveillance footage.
They were walking up and down the street, kind of checking the buildings out. I knew it was our community and it was somebody that was important to us because we're small.
Jennifer was first diagnosed with cancer when she was just 29. She was 49 when she was shot and killed. And Jennifer's daughter didn't want to go on camera, but she did tell me her mom never complained about cancer treatments in those 20 years. And she also said that her mom had had a double mastectomy, and she said her mom's recent scans were looking good. Amanda Gilbert, 9 News.
The Larimer County Sheriff's Office arrested Ebenezer Worku for the shooting. According to court documents, he admitted to firing a gun, but he didn't realize anybody was hit. He said he was suffering from mental health problems at the time.
A man accused of stabbing 4 people on the 16th Street Mall will be evaluated to see if he's mentally competent to stand trial. According to our reporting partners at the Denver Gazette, defense attorneys for Elijah Cottle requested that evaluation today. The 24-year-old was arrested in January, accused of killing Selena Levno and Nicholas Burkett, hurting 2 other people in a series of stabbings in the mall. He faces charges that include first-degree murder. This evaluation will determine if he's able to understand the court proceedings and help his lawyers in his defense. If he is found incompetent, his case will likely be delayed for some time.
Man, it was a nice end to this week. So nice, this person got in some paragliding. Sky 9 caught this thrill seeker catching some incredible views today. Wow. It's a way to end your work week.
That's the way to do a Friday, Corey. Here we are all dressed up and at work like suckers, and somebody else is soaring over town.
Exactly. We're at the time of year where we get those thermals rising off the planet here. We had nothing but full sunshine through the day. Got the air rising. Those gliders love that stuff. Here's the evening here in Denver. Super comfortable evening here downtown, 65 degrees at 9 o'clock. Pretty impressive. Here are the temperatures that were reported across the state today. 73 in Denver. 83 out in Grand Junction. So super warm day across the area, and we're going to carry that heat into the weekend here. These showers that have been going through the high country through the course of the afternoon and evening are starting to diminish now. Here's your forecast for Mother's Day weekend here in Denver. Near 80 degrees tomorrow, another day of full sunshine, blue skies, even warmer on Sunday with a few little gusty sprinkles in the area. I'll detail that coming up in the forecast as well as what lies ahead.
A rural community in Weld County wants to make sure a beloved teacher isn't forgotten.
She was killed in a crash nearly 2 weeks ago as a driver was speeding away from police. Tonight, there's a vigil for her in LaSalle, south of Greeley. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez is there for us. Colton, big turnout for a small community.
Kyle, a huge turnout, and it was filled with the community that wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this teacher's impact reached far beyond her 7th grade classroom.
The light of a community.
She was a cheerleader. She was just a light to the world.
Joe Hutchinson says that's who 7th grade teacher Christine Schwartz was to the town of LaSalle.
It's a tragic loss for this district for sure.
Ms. Schwartz was killed in a head-on collision on Highway 85 by a driver who CSP says was fleeing police in a stolen car. It's been nearly 2 weeks since the crash, and what's left is a community that refuses to forget.
I've subbed for her many times, and now I have 2 other students that have also had her.
One of those students is Joe's son, Drew.
It's now 2025. It's now sad that she's not going to be here for 2026 now, and what am I going to do without her?
Ms. Schwartz was his science teacher.
In science, when I went there, it was just emotional. I cried and I knew that she wasn't there, and it was sad.
Drew says he'll remember his teacher for her life, not for her death.
She was like really nice, and she had a lot of energy, and she made everyone laugh.
Hats off to her to being our snack queen.
A tip of the hat to Ms. Schwartz from a town that will never forget her light.
We wanted to give the kids a place to come and mourn their teacher, feel those feelings of loss, and know that everybody's behind you and all of us adults are feeling the same way.
Students here at the Vigil tonight, they were painting a different variety of rocks, and what they told me they're going to do with those rocks is actually take them out to the crash site on Highway 85 and decorate them in honor of their teacher, Ms. Schwartz. In LaSalle, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
An Aurora police officer is out of the hospital tonight after a crash this morning. APD says one of their officers was trying to join a chase in progress with a stolen truck, but then crashed into a car near Buckley and Dartmouth. Driver of that car wasn't hurt. Officer went to the hospital with minor injuries. This crash comes less than 2 months after APD changed its policy to allow more vehicle chases. Since then, Aurora's officers have been involved in 28 chases. At the time, Aurora Police Chief Todd Chamberlain admitted there was risk attached to the new policy, but said it was necessary to deter criminals who were taking advantage of the prior restrictions on chases.
When that officer would flip on that light, those people would accelerate away, and the officer would turn off the lights and continue about his or her business for that day. It became general knowledge that people knew, hey, if I'm in a stolen car, Aurora Police Department is not going to chase me.
Since that policy was updated, one other driver has been hurt in a chase. APD says that driver shot at officers during a chase before a pit maneuver was used to roll his truck.
The sheriff in charge of the investigation into the death of Jeff Sparebeck, John Elway's longtime friend and agent, says he's confident it was an accident. Our Broncos insider Mike Kliss talked with the sheriff in Riverside County, California today. He told Kliss that Elway was not drunk when Sparebeck fell from a golf cart that Elway was driving late last month. Sparebeck's death was ruled as blunt head trauma. The two friends were returning home from a private event when this happened. The sheriff says the investigation is nearing its conclusion.
The Trump administration is cracking down on colleges it claims are turning a blind eye to anti-Semitism, and that could come to include Denver's Araria campus. A civil rights advisory committee is looking at whether pro-Palestinian protests on campus qualified as anti-Semitic. A 6-member committee tied to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights voted unanimously to examine what they say will be the presence or absence of anti-Semitism at Araria. Last year, protesters camped out on the Quad for 3 weeks, demanding the university cut financial ties with companies linked to Israel. The committee's proposal to investigate this claims without offering evidence that some students there called for violence against Jewish people. The investigation is expected to take a year to complete. Final report will be sent to the U.S. Civil Rights Commissioner.
The mayor of Newark is out of custody tonight, hours after he was arrested. Democrat Ras Baraka, who is also running for governor of New Jersey, was taken into custody while protesting at an immigration detention center. Witnesses say he was handcuffed and taken away after getting into a heated argument with federal officials as he and Democratic members of Congress tried to enter the facility. Homeland Security says he trespassed and ignored warnings to leave. Baraka has argued the facility should not be allowed to operate because of permitting issues.
More problems at Newark's airport today. Air traffic controllers dealt with another radar outage. The FAA says this one lasted about 90 seconds. It follows a similar outage last week that led to hundreds of flights being canceled or delayed. Dozens of flights have been canceled since today's outage. The FAA announced a plan this week to upgrade air traffic control systems across the country. Aviation experts tell us DIA does not have the same risk of disruption if something similar happens here. Newark's one of 3 busy airports there in the New York City area, so there's a lot of planes in the air at the same time. Denver has much more airspace, so if radar and communications are lost, pilots would have time and space to fly until communications restored. 9 News aviation expert Greg Feist says even in the event of emergencies like Newark has seen, he still believes it's safe to fly.
The system was still safe. We did not have a calamity of errors, airplanes running into each other and mass chaos. It was stressful and it did take its toll on the air traffic controllers because they weren't able to do their job and communicate. But We have some very good safety backups in the professional pilots, in the equipment that they're flying.
Fye says while the U.S. Transportation Secretary has that plan to overhaul the air traffic control system, he does not think it will be an easy transition.